Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today's June 9th, and we're going to look at the first of two deaths that happened because of a single incident at National Abortion Federation member Atlanta Women's Pavilion in 1979. So it was June 2nd of 1979 when Dr. Jacob Adams performed an abortion on 19-year-old Angela Belinda Scott. He was assisted by nurse Teresa Stearns, who, while she was a registered nurse, she was not registered nurse anesthetist. She did not have current certification to provide anesthesia, but she was the one providing general anesthesia for abortions at the clinic that day. Well, after Dr. Adams finished the abortion, Angela was sent to the recovery room. There's a picture of that very recovery room in the thumbnail to this video. So after Angela had been moved to recovery, Dr. Adams started performing the abortion on 15-year-old Dolores Smith. Again, it was Teresa Stearns, the nurse who was not certified to administer anesthesia, who was performing the anesthesia during Dolores's abortion. Now, while she was in the recovery room, Angela went into cardiorespiratory arrest. And somebody came and asked Teresa to come to the recovery room and help with resuscitating Angela. And it appears that she forgot to turn off the anesthesia drip that was keeping Dolores unconscious for her abortion. Then there was a 15-minute delay in getting the ambulance to the clinic because staff did not tell them that the call was for an emergency. They thought it was just a routine transfer. Now, after the staff had finished taking care of Angela, they resuscitated her, they loaded her into the ambulance, they returned their attention to Dolores. She had stopped breathing. Now, Adams had accompanied Angela to Grady Memorial Hospital. And even though the ambulance could have transported both patients, the staff refused to release Dolores to the ambulance crew until Adams discharged her. So that was another 30-minute delay during which the staff were not only not allowed to transport Dolores, but the ambulance staff were not allowed to treat Dolores because she was still considered the patient there at the clinic with the doctor riding off in the ambulance. Now, Angela lingered for a week in a coma. She died at 2:35 a.m. on June 9th. Her mother sued the clinic, the three owners, who were all doctors, and the nurse for $12.3 million. She called the Atlanta abortion clinics unregulated assembly line abortion mills. And at the time, abortion clinics were unregulated in Georgia. So the only requirement was that it had to be overseen by a licensed physician. Meanwhile, Dolores remained in a coma in an intensive care unit at Grady. Fulton County District Attorney Lewis Slayton launched an investigation. Atlanta Homicide Chief Lieutenant Perry said, "We've had everybody, including the CDC, calling to see what happened and why. State legislators held hearings about regulating abortion clinics. The medical board held formal hearings. The Food and Drug Administration examined the anesthesia drugs used in the clinic that day." Contrast this with how Pennsylvania responded when Kermit Gosnell killed Shamika Shaw with the, nope, not gonna look, not gonna look, not gonna look. The official state policy of not gonna look. Dolores, just to let you know what happened, she never regained consciousness. She was admitted to a nursing home in August, and she finally died of adult respiratory distress syndrome on October 24th of 1979. And an interesting note, both of these young women were black. And I'm not saying that their treatment was racist, because all of the pictures I've been able to find of clinic staff, they were black as well. Dr. Adams was black. If you look at the thumbnail, the two staff in the picture of the recovery room, they were black. But black women, for some reason, are at significantly higher risk of dying from abortion complications. And to my knowledge, nobody has ever investigated why. So, you know, in addition to just noting that this tragedy took place at a National Abortion Federation member clinic, there is the difference in how the state responded, which is they moved in, they took action. Compare that to what happens now, which is you can't regulate abortion clinics. That's bad. So we don't want any more Angela Scott and Dolores Smith incidents. Well, the pro-lifers don't. Well, the pro-choicers don't either, because it makes them look bad. And I want to point out to people who take this attitude of, oh, we can't cover this, and we can't have the state investigate, and we can't have people look into it because, oh, the abortion clinics just kept on chugging along. Women's Pavilion did close, probably to avoid the lawsuits, but the roughly 9 or 10 other clinics stayed open. It wasn't like nobody could get an abortion in Georgia because the state looked into this tragedy. Get a grip.